Leaves from my journal. Logan Pierce's daily writings from the Washington, D.C. South Mission. Day 18, April 15th, 2006. Tomorrow's Easter. Day 19, April 16th, 2006. Easter Sunday. Today's Easter. I might not write much in here today. I'm going to go ahead and write letters home to my friends in Oklahoma. I need to go ahead and write while I'm here. I leave on Wednesday and might not have as much time out in the field. I need to go ahead and copy the rest of my journal while I'm here. Who knows how far away a Kinko's will be. I also want to say, before I forget, what Elder M.A. playing the theme from Braveheart reminded me of. I kept picturing a montage of Captain Moroni riding the title of Liberty, mixed with training his troops and the great battles and leading them to victory. Every week on Sunday at the MTC, there's a theme for a talk that everyone's supposed to write, and then they pick 3 from a zone to give them. There's about 20-something missionaries in our zone, so the odds of getting picked aren't that great. Our first Sunday here was General Conference, so there weren't any talks. The second Sunday, the topic was Hope. Elder M.A. was asked to give a talk from our district, which, now that I think of it, they get 1 person from each of the 3 districts to give a talk. Since there are 8 people in my district, my odds were a bit better than I first realized. Today, though, was Easter Sunday, and I was asked to give the talk on this week's topic, which was charity. I was asked to give it after the opening prayer was said. And now we'll hear from Elder Pierce. I got up there and talked about Easter and the charity of the Savior. I read D&C 88:125. And above all things, clothe yourselves with the bond of charity as with a mantle, which is the bond of perfectness and peace. I talked about how the Savior clothed himself in charity and what that means. To wear it like a mantle means you wear it on your sleeve, not in a prideful way, but in a way that people know if they have a problem that you'll be willing to help them because you wear that charity on your sleeve. I also talked about hymn 219, because I have been given much. I talked about how it was all about what it means to be charitable. I said how we as missionaries wear our charity on our chests. Our name badges are our sign that we are willing to be charitable and serve. I talked about how this rendition I have of Because I Have Been Given Much has a new verse that talks about missionary work. I read it and the second verse. The new verse goes like this. Because I have been blessed, dear Lord, I too must serve. I'll leave the comfort of my home to teach thy word. I'll find thy sheep who've gone astray and those who've never known the way. I will make thy work my work today. I shall give love to those in need. I'll show that love by word and deed. Thus shall my thanks be thanks indeed. And that was pretty much my talk. We also got another wonderful talk from Brother C. I'll try to reconstruct it as best I can from the notes I took. Brother C said, I want to talk about charity and about the Savior. He holds up a picture of the Savior surrounded by men. It's dark, they're carrying torches. It depicts Jesus just before he was betrayed. Do you remember what happened? Peter cut the ear off of one of the guys. The Savior healed him. The disciples fled, but Jesus stayed and said, Here I am. Would you have been like Peter and the other followers, or would you be like the Savior who stood his ground? It also talks about how the Savior had help bearing his cross. Simon saw the Savior was weakened and stepped forward. Are you ready to come forward and help your ward or that investigator in your area that's struggling and say, what can I do to help you? It says in Luke 14:27, Whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Brother C's talk went into more detail, but I'm going to stop now. I might finish it up later in my notes.